Hello, what is up, beautiful people? This video would be the other installment of my road to 18 inches arms. I know it has been delayed for quite a while, and I know I promised in the past few weeks, past few months that I would be trying to measure my arms on screen, and as you can see, I will be measuring my both of my arms, left and right, upper arms specifically the time that I woke up. So I am dehydrated. I haven't had anything to eat to fill up my body. And then the next one is after eating. So post meal. So the first meal of my day. After eating breakfast, this would be the time that I would also measure both my upper arms. So I'm actually quite surprised. I thought I'm in the 16 to 16.5 inches range on both of my arms, and I think they actually grew. Well, so most obviously because I'm specifically targeting them directly with isolations, and throughout my um, whole training blocks, my arms were the utmost top priority in training. And obviously, I am also currently bulking, so good luck. And I think my left arm was obviously smaller. Ironically, being a left-handed individual, my right arm is actually the larger one. Um, Going from I think 17 to 17.5 inches. I mean, it's nothing to brag about. Obviously, during a bulk, it's not entirely all um pure muscle mass. I would love to say it's actually all pure muscle. And but of course I would have to add the fact that during a bulk that water weight constant fluctuation tends to happen during a bulk. Of course, did I say water weight? Of course, being constantly hydrated makes your muscle looks full. As you all know, the human body is made up of 75 to 80% water. So being hydrated is a must. Not just in bulking, but also and most definitely most especially during cutting weight, your cutting phase, because um besides that you avoid yourself in being dehydrated. You your body, if it's hydrated all the time, your joints, your tendons, ligaments, muscles are less likely to be injured and less likely to be prone to injuries since they lubricate your muscles. And of course, during a warm up, besides allowing blood to flow on your joints, your tendons, and ligaments, hydrating helps your mental clarity again, helping assistance to lubricating your joints and aiding your rest and recovery. And again, the risk of being dehydrated also um, is tend to be less likely if you're well hydrated, of course. So again, drink your water all the time. And in this training phase, if I haven't mentioned it in the previous installments, I am now currently on my training block wherein I am also going to prioritize my shoulder growth, since in these past few training blocks I have been prioritizing the berserker physique coined by Natural Hypertrophy and Coach Paris Butler, aka Bald Omni-Man, wherein I am going to prioritize my limbs, which would be my arms in general, which would include my upper arms, biceps and triceps, brachialis, and the forearms, and also my legs. But in this training block, again, I'm prioritizing my shoulder growth, since I am going and looking forward to the physique of guts. Again, obviously from Berserk, the main protagonist of the manga series. And back then, in this previous training blocks, I pursued the look of Nosferatu, another character of Berserk, in which I prioritize more of my upper arm growth more than the growth of my delts. So right now, I'm trying to achieve the V taper look while looking blocky. Again, with the V taper look in this training block, I am also prioritizing my lat growth, not just the upper back thickness, the overall strength and development of my spinal rectors, my lower back, trying to develop a Christmas tree back, as some would like to refer. But since my insertions of the lats is super, well, not that super high, very high, and not that very pleasing to bodybuilding standards. Again, so what if my genetics are trash? Some people in the internet are saying that I look bad. I mean, that's besides the point. I'm going to train anyways. I mean, bodybuilding is the only sport, if you would like to call it sport, that only worries so much about genetics. Again, this is the also one of the many errors and mistakes of beginners is paralysis over analysis. I mean, they overcomplicate small things that they cannot control. Again, genetics. I mean, so what if you have short clavicles? So what if you have very long arms? If you want to have um, 18 to 19 inches arms, what do you call this? And in my case, also having very long arms and having high insertions of the lats. Who cares? I mean, it's just other insecure men that actually cares about what you look like. Um, the fact that, again, bodybuilding is the only sport, quote unquote sport, that worries about genetics, individuals worrying about genetics and how they cannot look like their favorite bodybuilder, their favorite athlete, their favorite cartoon anime character. Um, that has only been very prevalent. Again, in the bodybuilding sphere, I mean, you wouldn't hear sprinters saying that, oh, I don't have African American descent, so I must be, or I must suck at sprinting. I think one of the many factors that come into play in the genetics factor in bodybuilding is, of course, the stereotypes. I know it's funny sometimes having dark humor that um, athletes that came from African American descent um, most of the time dominates every sport. But I mean, in the realm of, even in the realm of what they call this, strength sports, you wouldn't see most of the time, or sorry, some outliers, like for example Mark Henry. I know you know him as a pro wrestler in WWE, but he actually started as a powerlifter and an Olympic weightlifter, believe it or not. Then we're in this realm of sport is mostly dominated by Europeans and Eastern Europeans. And again, I'm going off topic, but genetics doesn't matter. I mean, as long as you're training, it's kind of like the tortoise versus hare analysis. I mean, if you are familiar with the story or the fable, that the hare is extremely talented. He doesn't need much to win, and what happened is he got complacent, he got lazy, he slept in the middle of the race, wherein the tortoise was a very hardworking individual. He um he won the race because he was very hardworking, was very determined, and I would like to actually I see myself as the tortoise as much as I would like to be the hare or the rabbit. But again, bodybuilding is a marathon, not a sprint. You could say that majority of what you see on social media are both the hare and the tortoise. Majority of them would majority of them is a mix between the tortoise and the rabbit, and sometimes this outliers is also the reason or one of the many factors that young individuals, most especially young boys, are very prone to body image disorders, body dysmorphia. I know I for one is a very fell very often back when I was training. Actually, I would like to share the reason why I started doing fitness, doing calisthenics, transitioning to weightlifting, power building, powerlifting style of training is I actually didn't pursue inches of gaining muscle. I actually tried to pursue gaining performance, believe it or not, because back then I couldn't even do a single push up. I think I mentioned it in some previous videos, but me doing me not being able to do a single push up actually made me determined in pursuing 5 push-ups. Then when I did 5 push-ups, I tried to do 10 to 15 push-ups. Then when I can already do 15 push-ups, I tried to do 3 4 5 sets of 10 reps, so that would equate to 50 repetitions. Then doing or because of the trend of the One Punch Man workout, wherein he did 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 squats, air squats, then a 10-kilometer run. I pursued in doing 100 push-ups in a row. And me, without the influence of social media fitness back in the 2015s, 2016s, um, actually helped me in being more focused, being more concentrated in my starting goal, because back then it was a very niche topic that not everybody talked about compared to these days, most especially during the lockdown phase of the 2020, 2022, 2023. And I only started being worried about my body image since uh bodybuilding spheres, the uh, sudden rise and inflation of quote unquote fitness influencers on social media, whether it could be Instagram or Facebook, Instagram. Sorry, did I say Instagram already? YouTube. Then I started to worry about my body image. I mean, back then I can already pump out 50 plus push ups. I already hit a quote unquote decent physique. The type of physiques that you know the type of physiques that actually do a lot of sports, who the type of physique that in my case does a lot of push-ups, does a lot of abs, some aerobic exercises whatsoever. But again, the inflation of physiques during my high school actually did uh, interrupt with my mental clarity, kind of made me into thinking that the results that I'm getting weren't enough. Then the rise of the fake nannies in YouTube, in Instagram, and in social media in general. Um, you know, looking back, it was kind of silly, but again, me looking back and seeing myself as silly and ridiculous and setting standards that are way, what do you call this, very unachievable, uh, speaks for my growth and development, and into thinking that I did mature in my mentality and training principles. And now the sudden rise of the quote unquote noble natties, as it started to be, or the noble natty started as an insult or a satire for um, bodybuilders who preach the natural way of bodybuilding, has now become the sigil of community wherein we preach natural bodybuilding as a very possible way of gaining mass and size without the help or the assistance of anabolics, performance enhancement drugs. I mean, just lift your fork, man. Just eat ton, just bulk. It's not very complicated. I mean, I also fell for the mean gaining mentality. I mean, Greg Doucette, Athlenex, I know very big names. Coming from a very small channel like mine, Jeff Cavalier, I know I fell victim to you, but still, I have a lot of lessons learned even from the bad apples of social media fitness. Um, most specifically YouTube fitness. I mean, I learned a lot, and his channel paved way to some of the many channels that actually tried to call him out. I know back then I used to hate them for calling out Jeff Calvary. Again, this is the also the toxic or very dangerous side of having parasocial relationship with influencers. Nowadays, I don't really care that much. I just come and take what is very helpful, what is very necessary, and I leave out the rest that is very irrelevant for my current goals. So that is why don't what do you call this? Don't fanboy that much on influencers. I mean, yeah, once in a while, if they get you, give you a shout out, they notice your comments, your interactions on their YouTube accounts, their Instagram accounts. Why not? I mean, it gives you a little bit of a little bit of ego boost whatsoever, but don't rely on them so much like you know them, because I mean, at the end of the day, you just came there for the golden tidbits, the necessary information for you to help reach your current goals. And in my case, again, my 18 inches arms, in which I was also inspired by basement bodybuilding. I mean, Jeffrey Verdict Schofield, um, ironically speaking, doing incline curls while mentioning Jeffrey Verity Schofield. I actually got strong in this. Back then, I actually used to hate this movement, but currently going strong, doing 40 pounds, 6 to 8 reps, going 10 reps. I am not going to stop using the 40 pounds until I get at least 12 to 15 repetitions. And that is the magic of, again, progressive overload. And that would be it. Thank you for watching. If you happen to stumble upon my channel, help uh, grow this channel, like, subscribe if you haven't, comment down below anything negative or positive. It doesn't matter. It helps interacting with my channel. It helps the algorithm recognize that my channel is still growing and help me get at least 500 subscribers, 100 more subscribers at this year of 2025. And you can see the pump gave me at least a few inches on my arms, and this means that I am currently growing because my sleeves are getting tight. And that would be it. Thank you for watching and have a good day.